Welcome. You took your first breath, but no one was happy. Your father wasn't there anyway. Your mother was always going to take care of you. While she raised you, there was neither happiness nor sadness on her face. Only exhaustion. This became a lesson for you. Emotions are a luxury. Survival is a necessity. No one taught you this lesson, but you learned it. You grew up in a neighborhood where something dirty was happening on every corner. At 8 years old, someone would get shot in the neighborhood. Everyone would scatter. You would stay where you were. It wasn't courage, but the monkey would understand that later. What this little monkey experienced were early signs of emotional blunting, clinically called alexithymia. It can be inborn, but it is mostly caused by chronic stress and neglect in early life. After a while, the brain considers emotional signals as unnecessary noise. From the outside, the monkey appears brave, calm, strong. High school was left unfinished. Money was needed, and even if it wasn't clean, there was plenty of work in your neighborhood. Small deliveries, small messages, things better left unspoken. While the monkey was sitting in the neighborhood, a man came and asked if you wanted money. At that moment, the banana you wanted came to your mind and you took the envelope the man extended. He told you to stay quiet, to hide the envelope, and where you needed to go. You took it. You waited. You brought it back. The man looked at you. He told you to be around here and left. That place was now your new spot. You were always there, and there was always work, and work meant money. 1 year later, you became the most reliable monkey for that man. 2 years later, you were attending gang meetings with him. 5 years later, you were running those meetings. How did this happen? No one fully understood. Your secret was simple. You didn't feel. And this was an incredible advantage in this line of work. When you had to threaten someone, you looked into their eyes without your hands shaking. When a difficult decision had to be made, you immediately chose what was logical. When someone cried or begged, it didn't affect you. Your organization grew, but the real boss got old, got tired. After a while, just as you expected, he gave you all the authority. You were 25, and you had to build something from scratch, because what you inherited wasn't a structure. It was like a loose rope. It needed to be made solid. Your first job was to understand the structure. A criminal organization has 3 main problems: where to hide the money, who trusts whom, and when the state sees you. Those who solve these 3 survive. Those who don't die. You started with the money issue. You had cash, but cash was visible. You couldn't put it in the bank. They would ask where the income came from. You couldn't spend it. Luxury cars, luxury houses, luxury watches, each of them would trigger the authorities. What was the solution? Opening a business. But not just any business. A business with heavy cash flow, difficult stock tracking, and unclear customer numbers. It could have been a jewelry store, but jewelry was recorded due to gold trading. It could have been a restaurant, but matching material cost was difficult. What was the cleanest? A laundromat. Instead of the classic method of money laundering called smurfing, dividing money into small parts and channeling it through different paths, the business method is much more sustainable. Laundromats, parking lots, barbers, kiosks, businesses with high cash flow are suitable for inflating real income. So a monkey buys a service worth 500 bananas, and a bad monkey adds 1,500 rotten bananas to the monkey's clean bananas and enters it into the system. We call this revenue mixing. Taxes are paid, but little is paid. Until someone starts looking carefully, the difference was recorded. Taxes were paid, and dirty money was slowly cleaned. But this was slow. You turn to the best method abroad. Like this, you establish a company in Turkey. This company pays for consulting services to another company in Malta. The Malta company transfers the money to a holding account in Dubai. The holding in Dubai invests in another company for different countries, for different legal systems. You solve the money. Now the second question: who trusts whom? Trust is the biggest weakness of criminal organizations. Everyone watches each other with suspicion, thinking anyone could become an informant. Sometimes this suspicion rots the organization from the inside rather than from the outside. But you would build trust not with emotions, but with structure. You built 3 layers. At the bottom, carriers. They didn't see the big picture. Each one only knew the next link. If they were caught, what they could tell was limited because they didn't know. In the middle, managers. The only criterion in choosing them was this: they had to need you. Family debt, criminal records, loyalty could not be bought, but necessity could be managed. You had a file on each manager. Whenever needed, it was opened. At the top, you, and next to you, one person, a former police officer. He had retired, but his connections remained. He would warn you before operations. Cell structure is a security model developed by resistance organizations in World War II. The basic idea is this: if one member is caught, they can only expose their own cell. The rest of the structure survives. The third problem is the most important. When does the state see you? Actually, it always sees you. The real question is, what does it do when it sees you? Two things determine this: the police and politics. With the police, it was simple at first. Some names you knew from the neighborhood had risen in rank over time. Envelopes were sent to them on holidays, gifts on birthdays, scholarships when their children reached school age. It wasn't bribery, it was relationships. And in return, sometimes a warning would come. Don't go to that warehouse this week. Change that license plate. Small pieces of information that saved lives. But the police alone was not enough. When operations grew, higher levels came into play. And higher levels only spoke with politics. Organized crime and politics are like brother monkeys. In Italy, Cosa Nostra. In Japan, Yakuza. In different periods, formed relationships with politicians. This relationship is usually not direct bribery, but more subtle: cash support for election campaigns, pressure to ensure the right companies win certain tenders, holding information that can be used against opposing politicians. In return, the organization ensures some investigations slow down, some files are closed, some names are removed from list. As this cycle continues, both sides become dependent on each other. One cannot expose the other, because both would sink. By 40, the system was established. You had operations in 3 cities. Your money looked legal. There was no one left around you. There were workers, men, useful people, but no one who knew you. No one who wanted to see you. Those who came to your table were not there because they loved you, but because they feared you. One day, one of your men came and said they couldn't reach the retired police officer. You told them to find him. A few days later, they said they found him abroad, and you handled it. You understood. A few months later, the police operation began. That man was an informant. Maybe from the beginning, you didn't sense it. He worked beside you for years, looked into your eyes, shook your hand, and you couldn't read anything. Because to read people, you needed to feel. Monkeys don't stay loyal only for money or safety. Belonging, appreciation, the need to be seen, these are basic psychological needs. A leader with emotional blunting can neither feel nor meet these needs. Result: the most capable monkeys around you leave over time. Who remains? Those with no other option. After the raids began, you couldn't stop it and started hiding from place to place. But the inevitable end was coming toward you. One morning, the expected knock came. What did you feel as the handcuffs were put on? Nothing. In court, the judge read the charges. It was a long list. The monkey in this story never cried, never felt joy, never felt fear. He thought these were weaknesses, but these were what made him human. If you see yourself as someone who feels very little, who struggles to recognize emotions, this is not a strength. It is a wound, and wounds can be treated. Years later, you were sitting in a prison cell. The organization had collapsed. The politicians you protected said they didn't know you. Your police connections had moved on to other names. The system had collapsed. You looked out the window. The sky was gray. You tried to feel something: regret, longing, anger, sadness, anything. It didn't happen. You tried to remember your mother's face, but that didn't happen either. Even your memories were empty. You took your last breath the same way, flat, silent, alone. No one cried. You couldn't cry anyway. Yes, friends, that was the video. If you liked it, don't forget to like. And if you're not subscribed yet, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next life.